Hey everyone, John here. In today's video, I'm going to be not even going over, I'm literally gonna prompt engineer with Python. I'm just going to, before I start prompt engineering, I'm going to kind of fill out my little vision board here. So if you don't know already, this is my little just like my project management tool that I use. It's just an Excel spreadsheet with a bunch of different text boxes, and this is kind of like where I come up with problems, and then I try to generate a solution, and then once I have a solution, I go ahead and implement that in code. Yeah, let's go with the problem let's try to formulate the problem right now, or define the problem before we go ahead and start writing up some code. That's apparently like one of my weaknesses, is I just go straight to coding. So I'm going to define the problem first, kind of formulate a solution, and then start coding. So what's my problem? So I'm generating an equity research report, kind of like this. That's pretty much all AI generated. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. Let me show you the research report. I'm basically generating a equity research report with different sections. So the equity research report has like basic information, a business description, industry overview and competitive positioning, news. It's got financial analysis. It's got valuation, investment summary, investment risks, and then ESG factors, right? So I have those sections. In the one that I really want to focus on for today, in particular, is the news section, and there's a couple things wrong with it. I think just looking at one news section at a time isn't really enough to show you what I think, why I think it needs to be improved, right? So I'll just go through my little script here first and go over like the different functions that I'm going to be using to pretty much improve the performance of my prompts, or improve the performance of the large language model by enhancing my prompts. But yeah, so right now I'm just gonna go over through the libraries that I'm using. So I use three main libraries that are just like just built into Python. So I store all my prompt and output pairs in a SQL database, or Squeal database. I have to use Squeal because my girlfriend thinks it's cute. So I'm gonna use Squeal. I use JSON, and then I take that JSON file and then output it to a markdown file. It's just easier for me to view what's going on with the outputs and stuff like that. And then I just have my API key within my environment. And then I'm using the Google Gen AI experimental version, and I've given it a tool, which is Google Search. That way, when I can generate news that's pretty much up to date, right? Like I'm basically giving Gemini access to Google Search, right? That's how I call it in. So the first function that I have is I just query my database of for the time that the prompt was used, and when there was when I basically made the output, the model I used, and then the prompt that I used, and then I just put that into a JSON file, or like into a JSON, and then I take that JSON string and then transform it into a markdown file for legibility. I'll show you like what that looks like, and then I'll actually run this code here to show you what my database looks like. Maybe for now, maybe I won't limit it to 15. I'll try to show everything. Order by time, limit 15. But yeah, so this is how I generate Gemini with search. I'm using Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental. I think Gemini 2.0 Pro just came out. The only thing is, I'm not sure if the normal Google Gen AI library has Google search, right? The next thing that I have to try too is using like another model right? So there's like OpenAI. I've already set up. I pretty much use LangChain to give OpenAI search functionality. Let me show you what that looks like before we get started. Open. Like, how do you just open that? But yeah, so this is what the output looks like when you generate when you ask what's the current stock price of Meta today without giving OpenAI search. You basically have to use LangChain, and I gave it the same search tool as the Gemini, which is Google search, to like go onto the internet. And this is basically what the output is. So this is no search. This is the output from no search. With this prompt, what's the current stock price of Meta, the company, for Feb 19, 2025? It responds with, I'm unable to provide real-time stock prices or future stock prices, right? When I give it search, you can see now it outputs the current stock price of Meta for February 19, 2025 is $703.77. And I'm using the same model. So I'm using GPT-4o Mini. The reason why I want to use GPT-4o Mini is because GPT-4o Mini is kind of like the equivalent to the Flash for Gemini. Like, the flagship model for Gemini is 2.0 Pro, and then the mini version is Flash. So for OpenAI, it's GPT-4o is the flagship, and then 4o Mini is like the Flash version, right? So I want to be comparing like for like. When I do the prompt engineering, I'll probably after I do the prompt engineering and I kind of get a sense of the prompt and how good, I'm satisfied with the prompt and the output, and it kind of is like pretty consistent. I'll then use that prompt and see which one I like better. Do I like the outputs of GPT-4o Mini better, or do I like the output of Gemini 1.5 Pro Experimental better? The way that I'm gonna do that is probably through blind like studies, because like I don't want to know which model, right? And then I'm judging them, and I'm just gonna go with the cheaper version. Like, I'm a cheapskate, so I'm basically just gonna go straight for like, hey, I'm gonna have a bias towards like the cheaper model. And I think the cheaper model right now is 4o Mini. I'm not sure actually. I'll have to take a look. The prices have been changing, and 2.0 Flash is kind of a newer model. But I bet Gemini is cheaper than 4o. But now you could kind of see like, hey, what the search functionality looks like. Insert report section. So this is just a little function that I kind of made up to update my SQL database, and I collect the ticker, the company, the section that I'm generating in this case. So like I went over the couple different sections, like the business description, etc. So I store the ticker, the company, the section. In this case, I'm going to be focused on the news section. The model is going to always be Gemini 1.5 Pro in this experiment, and then you're going to see the prompt and the output pairs. So I have 3 prompts here. What I do with the prompt engineering is I have 3 main, for me, optimizing the performance of a large language model is 3 stages. So the first stage is you want to build prototypes for the prompt. So, okay, like there's three main techniques to improve the performance of a large language model. The first one is retrieval augmented generation. The second or like the first one that you want to try is prompt engineering, which is basically just asking the model better, like prompting the model better. Hence, it's called prompt engineering. The second one is retrieval augmented generation, where you basically take information, put it into a vector store or vector database like a Pinecone, and you basically give the large language model access to your vector database. That way it has new information, because like GPT-4o mini or GPT-4o is like, I think it's from 2023 September or 2023 or 2024 September. I'm not sure. But like if you were to ask it up-to-date information, and I need up-to-date information for like news of a stock, I pretty much would either use search functionality or I would scrape the web in real time, update my vector database, use retrieval augmented generation to bring in that new information. That way, like my large language model has context, which is like up to date. So that's the second step. And then the third step is fine tuning. So you're essentially, you're basically just like adjusting the model weights of the foundation model or like the base model to change the behavior of the model. So that one's a little bit more advanced. I'll go into in this video. I'll pretty much just do prompt engineering when I'm working on the I guess like the DCF section. I'm going to have to do prompt engineering. So in this specific section for the news, I'm going to be doing something called one-shot prompting. When I go into like building a DCF model, I will be doing multi-shot prompting. So like I'll have a prompt, I'll get an output from that prompt, I'll feed that output back into another prompt, and then feed that output of the second prompt into another prompt, and then that's kind of like multi-shot, right? In this case, I'm basically just giving it a single shot. And you're looking at the prompts right now. These prompts, so when I do, okay, so those are the three steps, right? Within the three steps, prompt engineering, RAG, and what do you call it? What was the other one? Fine tuning. There's three distinct phases. So the first phase within the first subphase within the phases is prototyping. So in the case of prompt engineering, you want to have some prototypes for the prompts, right? In this case, I'm just showing three. I don't want to show way too many different prompts because like I'm just a human being, and it's just hard for me to like keep track of more than like three prompts. That's just what I noticed. But eventually, like once I honed in the prompt, I can like start scaling it up, right? Like I could pretty much like run the same prompt on the same ticker multiple times just to see if the behavior of the large language model is consistent. If it's inconsistent, I can just like fine tune the prompt a little bit more. So that's the first step, is prompt, like just building some prototypes. Once you have the prototypes, you want to generate some responses, of course, which is basically just like running the prompts and then getting an output. The second step is evaluation. So in this specific example, or just like in this video, I'm going to be doing just from human feedback. So I'm going to just like do the eye test. I'm a CFA charter holder. I kind of know like what I'm looking for in the news. And I'm going to just kind of share my thoughts on that. But yeah, like it's going to be human evals in the initial prototyping, or like in the initial evals. Like once I have like the prompt behaving how I want, I then start using like the large language model to evaluate the output of the large language model, right? Because like I don't want to look like, let's say I want to see if the prompt and output is consistent. I don't want to read through like 100 prompts, right? Or like prompt output pairs. I could just feed those 100 prompt output pairs into a large language model that evaluates the consistency of those like 100 different prompt output pairs, and then build a prompt that would improve the consistency. But yeah, so these are like 3 different prompts. They're kind of just like almost the exact same thing, right? Like, so what am I looking for? So I want provide a time segment. I'll actually show you like how I build like the prototypes initially. So I give it a prompt. So just like I'm kind of getting lazy with talking to Chatgpt. I'm starting to talk to it in slang. I would say I'm like a Chatgpt power user. I would say I spend like 3 hours a day talking to this thing. But yeah, like let's take a look at what the initial what I said. So I just fed it a prompt, which is like I was just playing around. So what's the date today? Give me a summary of relevant news that occurred today, last week, last month, last quarter, and last year. The company with the ticker. So this is basically just the F string. And what's this? This is the subject ticker, and then the company with the ticker is. I just put the ticker in there, and then I just ask, give me 3 variations of this prompt for prompt engineering, and then it comes out with these 3 variations, which are a little different. You could see like this variation 1 uses bullet points. This second variation is like in sentence structure, and it's kind of interesting. So like this one, it's looking for latest developments and breaking news for the day. In the last week, it's looking for major headlines and financial updates. In the last one, it's looking for noteworthy changes in strategies. So you could see like it's kind of like the theme for each section is a little bit different. Last quarter, it even goes into earnings reports, analyst ratings, and macroeconomic impacts. And then in the last year, it goes to high impact news, regulatory events, and stuff like that. So seemingly it goes like to higher level of detail, or like, I don't know if it's really higher level, but each section has a different theme that it's looking at. This variation 2 is a little bit different as well. I think this one, here's a prompt: retrieve and summarize news for the company, and then the ticker of the company. So look at the format, right? It's just a little bit different. This one's bullet points. This one's just like sentences. Across key timeframes, today, last week, last month, last quarter, and last year. Categorize each update based on its sentiment. So this one's a little bit different, right? Maybe I want to see a combination of both variation 1 and variation 2, right? Like these are just prototypes. Once I see the output, I'll kind of look at what I like, and then I'll iterate. I don't want to generate like a good prompt from the start. Like I kind of just want to brainstorm and just do a shotgun approach and see what's possible, right? But yeah, this is variation 2. Variation 3 is a little bit different. So summarize the most relevant financial news and over the following time frames. This one kind of seems it's kind of like variation 1, right? It's in bullet form format. Today, any breaking news affecting stock price. Last week, key financial headlines and investor sentiment, which is a little bit different than the other one. Last month, earnings report, M&A activity, or strategic changes. That one's a little bit different too. And then last quarter, performance trends, regulatory updates, or competitive shifts. And then last year, major transformation, leadership changes, or marketing repositioning. Keep the response concise, focusing on financial relevance and investor impact. So right away, you see there's 3 different ways to skin the cat. Let's take a look. Once I've got these 3 variations, I I just send it to a Python list, and then I can just like pretty much use that Python list in a for loop, right? But yeah, so those are the prompts. I have these companies. So when I first start the prompt engineering process, I only look at one company at a time, just because like you'll notice that the behavior of the large language model isn't consistent. Once you make it consistent for one stock, you can then go and look at like multiple different stocks at a time. And then once you look at multiple different stocks at a time, then you start looking at like which model do I like better and stuff like that. But yeah, so this is basically just like the for loop that's utilizing generate the Gemini with search section and then insert the report sections into my SQL database. And then once it's in the SQL database, I pretty much just like collect, like I just send it to a markdown file for review. But yeah, let's get started. I'll show you before I get into it. I know that was like kind of a long-winded intro, but this is a pretty heavy topic, right? Let me show you what my SQL database looks like first. So let me just like put all of these functions into my environment here. And okay, I'll show you my database. Okay, so this is just I don't know if everybody here knows SQL, but the SQL query is just like pulling every column and every row within the SQL query for the news section. Right? So I have the ticker, I've got the name of the company, the type of section it is for the report, which model generated the output, and then what prompt was used and the output, and then as well as the time, right? Let's take a look at what the outputs look like, right? It's kind of hard to read it. Oh, come on. Are you serious? Did I not run all my stuff? JSON string to MD is not defined. Where the heck is that? Man, did I not run everything? Let me just go all the way down here. That way I know all the variables are in there. Okay. Okay, now you know what the database looks like. I don't really need to see this every single time. We'll hit this, Shift Enter. Did it run? Maybe, okay. Like I'm pretty sure it ran, right? Let's look at the markdown file. It's just gonna take a while just because it's a lot. Did it not run? Seriously, dude? Shift Enter. Okay, let's put this on the side and then just show the markdown file on this side. Open preview, open to the side. Prompt review, MD. Is it not running? Oh man, I'm gonna have to debug this code like in real life. Seriously? Is there nothing in it? Okay, let me take a look at what's going on here. Maybe it's because I modified the JSON. MD text. JSON to MD. Report sections as JSON. Like, why is this not working, right? Sorry, everybody. Let me see. Let me see what's going on here. Is this not working? Now I'm sweating. See if this is working. Okay, yeah, this is not working. Report sections as JSON isn't working. Order. Okay, I'll show you why. I don't have anything called news in there. It's all capitals, right? Okay, so you just saw me debug in real time. Oh, that's so embarrassing. I forget why I did that, right? Like now when I print this JSON file, it should definitely run something. Nope. Did I not run it? Embarrassing. There you go. So now you've got the different. This is basically like what's coming out of the SQL database. I'm extracting the time, the model, the prompt, and the output. It's kind of hard to read it, right? So that's why I send it to a markdown file. So let's pull up the markdown file. Okay, now that that worked. Open the prompt review, open preview. Here we go. Is it hard to see that? Okay, let me see if I could just like do this. Okay, so you could see, so here's the prompt, and here's the output. Here's the prompt, here's the output. Did I not give it the subject ticker and the company name? What the heck? What the heck? Let me see. Prompt. This. I'll just generate this real quick. but basically, like these are just prompt templates, and I have to make this into like a format string, right? I forgot the syntax for that. I have this code. I guess you could also see like, you could see how I'm prompting the UI and not the API, right? So I usually put code in here, in these like little brackets, so like the AI kind of knows like it's a separate thing. In this line, then I put that prompt is a format string from a list that intakes subject ticker and let's just be right about subject ticker and subject ticker company. Right now I'm not utilizing it. I talked to the AI like it's somebody on Teams, like RN, right? Let's see what happens. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so this is something I just literally have to memorize. Dot format. I'm just gonna stick this in the I'm just gonna stick this in the thing. Screw it. Good enough for me, right? Okay, so that's why you like, before you start scaling it up, you wanna kind of like make sure your prompt template actually works, right? Because like I generated like a couple different prompt output pairs, and like I got garbage out of it, right? But yeah, so I got garbage out of it a couple times. So here's a prompt and output pair example of just like a super basic prompt, which is basically the prompt that I put into Chatgpt to generate the 3 prompt variants, right? So I have this prompt here, and then I have like these 3 prompt variants. But yeah, so here's like what my problem with it is like I feel like this section is kind of verbose. Like I don't need to know what, like literally I just want today, call it colon Friday, Feb 21, 2025. I don't care about the I can provide a summary of relevant news. Like I want to fine tune that out of the like fine tune this output, like this verbose output out of the prompt. The other thing is like I don't really care about like I don't want any disclaimers on the prompt. That the financial disclaimers and stuff like that, you can't, like I've tried prompt engineering that out, but really that's like a fine tuning thing. Like you have to fine tune that out of the model. Like you literally have to give it prompt and output pairs with no disclaimers on the output pairs. So this today, this is what's going on. It's still likely early in the day and stuff like that. I don't really care about all that, right? Last week, without access to a newsfeed, I'm unable to provide a summary. So this is the same model that I use to generate the other one. So like for some reason, Gemini wasn't using search. So I have to start, like, we'll see, like once I scale it up, if I have to add explicitly like use search, you have search functionality, right? But yeah, something was going on there that the news didn't work, right? Okay, so that was 721, or that was 724 2 days ago. So 3 minutes before, I also ran the exact same prompt but on Netflix. And you could see like it has the same structure. I like this output just cuz like it's less verbose than the other one, right? Like the other one had a bunch of other stuff, and then this still has a disclaimer on it. So maybe I could fine tune that out. And then today what happened, right? So $1 billion to produce 20 films? What the heck is Marvel doing producing one movie for like $1 billion? I don't even know. Like, oh man. Let's get the AI to analyze that, right? Last week, Netflix has shown a 20% decrease compared to the previous week. Like, this type of information I don't really care about, right? Because it goes like in the news section. I don't want the news section to be about like basic information. Like I have a basic information section, right? Let me go back into that Amazon example. Right? So I have a basic information section with like the price information. I don't want the same information in the basic information in the news section. Let's just keep that open actually. Where the heck did I close the markdown? Oh, that sucks. Like I can't open 2 markdown files at the same time in the preview. Bro, do I have to make a new do I have to make an extension? That's annoying. But yeah, where was I? Okay, we're here, right? So I don't want this information. Last quarter, this is what occurred. And then last year, this is what occurred. It's kind of all like price information that should be in the basic information section, right? Netflix repurchased 9.9 million shares. Like in my section, I like have enterprise value. I have what do you call it? Enterprise value, shares out multiplied by the stock price is equity value. Like I have all that information in the basic information section. I don't want it in the news section. Other relevant info, it has like analyst opinions, and then Netflix will release its earnings report on April 22nd. That's pretty cool. And then Netflix is testing a new What? Netflix is testing a new feature called Netflix Bites where users can order food. Oh man, Netflix be doing the most right now. That's crazy. Like, right? But yeah, you could see, okay, you could see that the behavior of just by these two prompts, you could see the behavior isn't consistent. That's what I'm talking about. Like, once you get the prompt or like the LLM behaving the way you want through prompt engineering, you then go ahead and then scale it up, right? Like, okay, generate 100 reports. Are the reports consistent? And then if they are consistent, like, then you kind of could customize it however you want. And then you can really generate a lot of reports. But yeah, like initially, like with the prototypes, 3 at a time for one ticker. Once I get it working for like one ticker, then I do 5 tickers. Then I go to like 20 tickers, then 20 tickers to 100 tickers, and then 100 times 100, like 1,000 prompt output pairs. And then once I have 1,000 prompt output pairs, I can literally like make a LLM prompt that is designed to evaluate those prompts and then give them a label like, okay, this one's 90, this one's pretty good, this one's pretty bad, this one's pretty good, this one's pretty bad, and then kind of rank them. And then like I could take that subset of 1,000 prompt output pairs, narrow them down to 100, and then like use those 100 to kind of try to generate a prompt and then kind of iterate, right? My process is really just iteration. I don't try to get the perfect prompt from the jump. Like you could tell how lazy my prompting is, right? Like where it started off. But yeah, again, look at the how it says the today, right? Like I kind of want that to be what do you call it? Kind of consistent. Like literally today, Colin, date, and then today this is what occurred. This one's interesting. Like I don't care about this guy Jim Cramer, right? This one's kind of interesting. But yeah, like Jim Cramer, like that's not really news about Apple, right? So I'm going to have to figure out, like, consider that within the prompt. Last week, Apple shares climbed 2%. Again, this is like information that I don't care about. I would say, for example, like Apple unveiled the latest iPhone 16e. That is massive news compared to like Apple shares climbing up 2%. That should be like I would want this information further up, so I read it first, right? And then maybe just even drop this completely because it's just price information. I'm not really like a technical analyst. On Friday, February 13th, Apple paid out its quarterly dividend. Again, that should be in the basic information section. Last month, talking about financial results, pretty cool. And then last quarter, Vanguard Group increased its position by 3.7% in the fourth quarter. Like this is information that I don't care about. Like I want news that's specific to Apple. Like Vanguard buying it. Like Vanguard is like literally just a market follower, right? But yeah, other information, still price information. Like I don't want that, right? I don't know if everybody's getting the gist of it. But yeah, so that's already 3 different prompt engineering or 3 prompt. What do you call it? 3 samples of prompt output pairs. Like this is just like what it really looks like to be a prompt engineer. It's so annoying. I mean, I enjoy it. Actually, it's kind of fun. But now look at the 4th prompt, right? So data is the exact same prompt, the exact same model. Generated 15 minutes before this one, and it didn't work, right? So you can see like today is this. As a large line, I don't have access to real-time news. Maybe within the prompt, I need to literally specify use search, right? So for example here, when you're using the UI, you literally have this button right here to to do search. Before, you would literally have to have in the prompt use search and look online to complete my request or to do my prompt, right? Right away when I look at these prompts, they kind of there's kind of stuff missing from it, like a persona for who the AI is supposed to think like, right? That's kind of missing. It's just basically giving it a task, but there's other stuff that you want to give it a persona. You want to give it an exemplar. Okay, like this is the output that I want. I'll eventually get into that, but my main goal when I do prompt engineering is to firstly get the output that I want, and secondly get the output that I want with the lowest cost in terms of input tokens as well as output tokens. So if I really want like a certain output, I could definitely feed it exemplar every single time, and over 1,000 times that's gonna up my cost a significant amount. At that point, you almost want to fine tune the model so you don't have to keep using like tokens in the prompt, right? Like, and then once you get into chain of thought, or like once you start piping is what it's called in LangChain, that's gonna add up. Like those exemplars, those persona stuff is gonna add up, right? But yeah, like look at that. Like it didn't even work. And then same day, which is like an hour and a half before, it worked. Right? That's so weird. And now it's kind of starting to work consistently. I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, like all of these are pretty much the same prompt, right? But yeah, now we kind of defined like the problem, right? The news section isn't great, and it isn't consistent. I need to prompt engineer to improve it. That's a problem. What's the solution? Pretty much build like get some prototypes. Get some prototypes. Get the prototypes to a level that is reasonable, and make sure the prompt template works at the very least. Template works at the very least, right? You saw me just like it definitely didn't work. And then once it works, once the prototypes, once I'm comfortable with the prototypes, I need to engineer a prompt to evaluate the outputs for consistency. And then once I have a good good outputs that are consistent, I can then use those outputs to generate a prompt, right? So essentially, like, you have prompts, you generate outputs. You take those outputs to generate prompts. You generate outputs with the second prompts. It's kind of just like an iterative solution. Like, you kind of initially, like, the value that I bring is, like, I'm in finance. Like, the initial part of like the reinforced learning with, like, from human feedback is by me. And then to scale that up, I basically am gonna just leverage an AI. Once I have a good output that are consistent, I can use those outputs to generate a prompt to get those same outputs, right? And then once I get a nice prompt, I can then customize the prompt to specific use cases. Those use cases could be, did I go into that? I said the three steps of improving model performance, but I didn't really go into like, I don't know if I went into customization, but the first step is prototype. Once you get a prototype, you do an evaluation of the prototypes, scale it up, and then once you've got like a prompt that you're comfortable with, you then customize that prompt to specific use cases. And those use cases could be based on the industry, right? Like, let's say I'm considering news in the tech industry. I want to like have news that is specific to the tech industry, obviously. Let's say I'm looking at mining. Like, I want to look at something else, right? If you catch my drift there. But yeah, you could focus on that. In some cases, like you could even be like, hey, let's see a prompt that's looking for news that will help me make investment decision. My investment decision framework is growth at a reasonable price, or maybe it's value investing, maybe it's momentum investing. Then that's kind of like when the customization comes in. But I don't like to do that right at the start. Okay, so now we defined a problem. We kind of came up with the solution. It took like 45 minutes to get there. And then I just kind of have a status. So like I put this in my like little board today, and then I'm just gonna work on it starting today too. Here's some stuff that I've done before. So like make a SQL table and all that stuff. But like this is kind of just like a new board. I was doing this initially like in a markdown file, but now I just am an Excel junkie because I'm in finance, right? Okay, so we've got a problem, we got a solution. Let's get to prompt engineering, right? So let's run these three prompts. Let's take a look at the for loop. So for company in Fang, I'm basically just I'm just gonna do it on Apple for now. And then for prompt in prompts, pretty much just run a prompt, insert those like prompt output pairs into the database, and then once it's in the database, I'm just gonna extract it from the database and I'll put it to a markdown file, right? Let's update that code. Like maybe let's do like top 30. Limit 30. Limit 30. Okay, let's see this. Did it work? Looks like it. Man, I wish they had timestamps in this interactive Python. Okay, let's run this for loop. It might take a while actually, because I just really noticed Gemini 1.5 Pro is just like literally the slowest with regards to inference. Shift enter. Huh? Okay. Let's just, did I run it 2 times? Crap. Whatever. So you could see it's kind of like doing, it's calling the API. But yeah, so like the API I'm using is the I think it's the Vertex API. It's different. It's like I'm not sure if it's a Vertex API actually. Like, do they call it Vertex? But you could like, I'm definitely using the a different API than like the normal generate API. Let me show you that. Where is it? Anyways, like take my word for it. This is not the normal way to call Gemini. I'm definitely using like a custom, or like I'm using Vertex for sure. But yeah, okay. So now I've generated 3. This would have generated 6, right? But yeah, let's take a look at what that looks like. Let's hit this JSON to MD. Did it run? Looks like it ran. And then prompt, open preview. Okie dokie, here we go. What the heck's going on with this prompt? Why is the prompt funny? Why is the prompt not reading right? Subject ticker equals subject ticker company. Like, why is my prompt? I know why. Prompt equals. Let's just put this up here. See, these are bugs that I shouldn't just know, right? This is good enough. That'll work. Let's just generate it again. Should I just make this a function really quick? Generate news section equals. Let's put this here. That way you don't have to like run the for loop every time, right? Just put this here. Generate news sections. I don't think I mean, like, I don't need this actually, but we'll just keep it there. That way you don't actually accidentally run it. Let's put this into our environment. Make sure it went in there. Looks right. Shift enter on this. Generating news sections. So this will generate 3 different sections. But yeah, you could tell, like, to generate 3 sections, it takes a while for the AI, huh? Give it a second. Why is this taking so long? Okay, let's go ahead and see what the output looks like. Send that to the MD file. Open the MD file. Okay. All right. Now my SQL database is updating right. Okay, here's a prompt. Summarize the most relevant financial and business news for Apple Inc. with this ticker over the following time frames. And then today, any breaking news affecting stock price. Last week, like, these are just like the prompts. And then, okay, here. Here's a summary of the most relevant financial and business news sections, right? See? Like, it's not working with the search. So I need to add, I'm unable to provide spins to get the I recommend getting update. Like, why is that? Because I'm asking it like at 4, like it's seemingly pulling, maybe it's because of the time of day that I'm pulling it. Like, I'm pulling it at 11:05 p.m. my time. Yeah, like I'm pulling it at 11:05 p.m. my time. Maybe that's why it's like screwing up on the today section, right? But for sure, I need, like, I have to enhance the prompts, like all 3 prompts, to make this not verbose. But yeah, okay, the today section. Let's take a look at the last week, right? Look for reports on Apple's sales performance in key markets like China and India. keep an eye out. Like, I want you to do that as the AI. Like, why are you telling me what to do? Come on. I gave you a tool. Investor sentiment, track articles. Like, it's basically just telling me what to look at, right? Earnings report. Okay, this kind of makes sense. The most significant event would be Fiscal's Q1 report, and then M&A activity. Yeah, like, do I care about M&A activity like that? Which prompt was this, right? So this prompt had M&A activity specifically within the prompt. I don't know if I want to drop that and then just like be more general, because like it literally is giving these sections, right? Like you have like an earnings report, M&A activity, and strategic changes. Like this prompt, I don't like it, right? So I'm just gonna drop that out and then replace it with a new prompt. Okay, let's take a look at the second prompt. Retrieve and summarize news for Apple Inc. across key timeframes today, last week, last month, last quarter, and last year. Categorize each update based on its sentiment. So this one's a little bit interesting. It's kind of doing, like, it's trying to see whether the news is like positive, negative, or neutral. Like, how is it figuring that out, right? And include potential business impacts, stock price movement, competitive advantage, and risk. So when I think about the sentiment, positive, negative, or neutral, think about how a large language model is trained. It's trained on public data sets, and most people that are in the public domain, most people who are investing literally are underperforming the market. Right? So if you don't fine tune the model, you're basically just going to be like everybody else. So you literally have to take these foundational models and consider how they were trained, and then distill those models, kind of like what they did with DeepSeek, to get the performance that you want. And specifically for stocks, like if you're just using the foundational models to like give you investment decisions, I don't think it would be good, just because of the fact of how it was trained, right? It's trained on the public data set, and the public data set, most of that information, or like most people who are like contributing, or just like the population in general, is not like beating the market. Like even professionals don't beat the market when costs are considered. Like imagine like a novice investor, and like that's what's in the public domain mostly. There's only there's like think about how like the percentage of finance people versus like the percentage of just humans, right? Like how many people are in finance? I don't know. Okay, stuff like this I don't care for, right? Today, here's the news. So again, like I really think the reason why this is occurring is because like I'm doing this at 11:09 p.m. and then sentiment NA, potential business impact NA. I like that. What is a potential business impact? Stock price movement. So like include potential business impact. So like the sentiment, and include the potential business impact of the sentiment of the news. That could be interesting. I think I like that. It's just, again, how is it doing the sentiment, right? Like you almost want to kind of question that. Where applicable, highlight reactions from investors, analysts, or regulatory bodies. I don't know. We'll take a look at that. But yeah, so I think this section is definitely funny based off of the day. Look at this. News last week. I like this section. It's better than the other ones, right? Apple's iPhone came out. It doesn't, like this This one so far, I feel like I like it more than definitely the first one. This first one honestly is like it's like not generalized, right? Like you almost want to get it to this point when you're considering uh the like at the third phase, the customization phase. Right now I'm in the prototyping phase. Like before I go into, okay, like I want to look at M&A. In this specific industry, like tech, they do have M&A activity, but not as like at the same level as like like other industries, right? So maybe like oil and gas or some other place where like M&A activity is more prevalent, maybe I would specifically have that in the prompt, but just like generally I wouldn't say that I want that. Okay, I will retrieve and summarize news for Apple. Like this part of it, I'm gonna just not have that. Like I'm gonna try to fine tune that out. Um, Potential business impact, and then news. Like I like this one so far the most. Okay, that's three, right? Did I go through three? Like, ooh, I like this analyst rating section. But the analyst rating section, I think I'm going to have that in the valuation section. So I have like investment summary. So I have like a valuation section where I'm going to be doing like a DCF and a comparables approach. I don't know if I want the analyst ratings in this section, in the news section actually. Cause like I'm literally gonna scrape for analyst ratings, and I'm going to try to identify like who's good and who's bad. But yeah, maybe I don't want that here. Apple additional points. So Apple is working to expand its AI capabilities, including Apple Intelligence. Apple is facing increasing competition in the smartphone market, particularly in China. Regulatory scrutiny, such as the UK's proposed browser changes, could impact Apple's innovation. Investor analysts and like this might just be like this analyst stuff. I think I'm just gonna not have that, right? Okay. So I've got three prompts here. Which one do I like the most? I don't like one. I I kind of like two a little bit. Um add like consider like add this into it. Like maybe I have the AI kind of generate that prompt, right? Let's get this. Oh, come on. What? What's going on there? I can't like right click that. Command C that. Uh let's combine these two prompts. Command C, and then let's go into this. Command V. And then let's see if we can combine these two. Prompt 1 equals this, and but yeah, like I like interfacing with the UI to build prototypes, and then I like using the API to just kind of like read through the to read through the types. Like once you start scaling it up after you've kind of enhanced the prototypes, you can't like you almost want to just like use the API most of the time. I don't know if there's batch processing for Gemini API batch request. I don't know if there's a Vertex one and how much cheaper it is. But like I think OpenAI, it's literally half the price batch. Like it's literally half the price. Um, but yeah, so like this is how you do like a batch request and better cost efficiency. So like when you're building those like prompt output pairs, like you get a 50% discount. That's sick, right? Higher limits, faster completion time. Like how? 24 hours. 24 hours, right? Um, but yeah, I might have to do that eventually, but like I'm not going to be doing batch processing for now. Okay, let's do prompt 2. Let's feed prompt 2 into the LLM. Which one did I like? So I like this one, and then I like this one. Combine these two prompts. Let's see. Let's take a look. But yeah, does that make sense? Like, does my process even make sense to anybody? Like, I feel like this is just I like doing it this way. Retrieve news for Apple. So now you're getting today latest developments and breaking news. Like, is that a lot? Is that different? Major headlines and financial updates. Noteworthy changes to this earnings call, and like I want the sentiment. Where's the sentiment analysis? Oh, here. Format the response with the bullet points for clarity and include relevant data on investor sentiment. Like, I don't want stuff like this. Unwanted section equals this, and then unwanted section 2 equals, let's see the other ones. This, let's put that in. I don't want these sections because it's verbose and reduces the readability of the output and reduces readability. Readability? Is that how you spell it? And then I actually like it like this. Just have this. Just go straight into like today. I just want the individual. I just want the breakdowns of the periods. The breakdowns of the periods. Do not have a preamble. Just get to the periods. Oh man, I need some sleep, okay? Leave me alone. Okay, so I've got that, and enhance the prompt to fulfill my request. But yeah, the prototyping part is really just is you're kind of just playing around, right? It's kind of subjective. Okay, here. Summarize news for Apple Inc. Across key timeframes. Categorize by sentiment and include potential business impact. And then you've got the 5 different sections: today, last week, last month, last quarter, last year, and then provide all the relevant news under each category. Exclude introductory statements and unnecessary commentary. Format responses with bullet points for clarity. Nice. Is there anything else that I want? This is pretty good. Okay, generate 3 variations of this and add some spice. Add some spice for experimentation. For experimentation. When generating 3 more variations. When generating 3 more variations, consider the fact that I'm trying to collect information to make an investment decision. Consider what a CFA charter holder would be looking for. Let's see if it knows what that is. Explain what's different in every prompt. Let's see if we can even get that, like exclude the, like I think we're gonna at least accomplish that today, right? Okay, variation 1. So this version prioritizes news with direct financial statement impact. I like that. Helping with fundamental analysis. I like that. What's different? CFA focus, emphasis on financial statement impact, more quantitative, encourages data-driven insights, and then actionable for investors. Sick. I like that. Variation 2. Oh, by the way, I'm just using 4.0. Like maybe on the next one, we'll try 0.3 mini high to build the prompts, right? Maybe I'll do that for the eval. Like when I start to do the eval, I'll do the batch API processing, but I also want to go super budget. And like I want to go super budget and optimize for token count, input and output, right? Like right now, I'm not saying like, okay, I want 500 words output, right? Like you'll notice as the prompt encourages like more things, the prompt's gonna get bigger and bigger, and it'll get more tokens. Like I'm going to be running this news on like the S&P 500 or maybe even more. So like it definitely matters over time. So what's different about the second prompt? Hedge fund trader perspective. Tracks market reaction, positioning, and sentiment. Institutional focus includes fund flows, analyst ratings, and big investor move. That's nice. And then better for short-term trades. Like I automatically, I don't want prompt 2. Right? Actually, let's see it. Let's see what prompt 2 comes out to. But like it's already going into the same stuff that I didn't want in the initial one, like going into the analyst ratings and stuff like that, right? And then variation 3. So the theme of the first one, investment relevance and financial statement impact. The second one's market sentiment and institutional positioning. And then the variation 3 is competitive and macro landscape, right? What's different? But yeah, let's try this out. Combine the 3 into a Python list called prompts. Yeah, like come on, everybody. I'm not gonna go copy this, copy this, copy this, put it into to a list. Like I'm gonna have it do it for me, right? Aw. Okay. This video is getting long. This is kind of getting in depth. But I think like once I review this one, I'm gonna go to sleep. And then I'll probably just title this like prompt engineering part 1 or something. But yeah, like the cool part is I'm gonna be able to use these prompts on like any AI model, right? Okay. Let's make sure this goes into the environment. Do it. Okay, why am I not doing this in a Jupyter notebook? Why am I doing this in an interactive Python? Because I just like interactive Python a little bit better. Generate new sections, shift enter. Did it run? Okay. All right, so it's got the new prompts loaded up. It's in the Jupyter variables. What the heck is the problems? When was this? That's not it. That's not me. Oh, I don't need to see this. Oh, here we go. 3 more new sections. Let's close this markdown file. Shift enter on this line. Open the prompt review. Is this fun? Do people think this is fun? I think it's fun. Huh? Open preview. What is this? What's going on here? Is this a different... Where... What? What are the prompts? What's going on there? Cross key timeframes. Like these are not the prompts that I gave out, is it? What the heck? Let's try that again. Maybe it's taking a while. Look at the markdown file again. That was weird. Is that, which prompt is that? And it's that in, oh, okay. Okay, I'm kind of getting confused here. So is this the last one? Oh, I'm looking at the format. It's different. That's why I'm getting confused. But it's this one here, because I'm reading it from. So this is prompt number 3. Okay, yeah, I definitely need to sleep after this one. Let's take a look at this one. Include quantitative. So, okay, let's see. So this is prompt number 3. This one is prompt number 2. This one's prompt number 2. Yeah, this one's the institutional investor one, which is prompt number 2. And then this one's prompt number 1. Summarize news for Apple Inc. Across key timeframes. Today, last week, last month, last quarter. Yeah. Let's look at, this is the prompt. This is, see, like it's still doing that stupid thing, right? Like, it's still doing this. Okay, here's a summary of the news. Nah, like even this, right? I actually like I like this format today. Like I like this format. Let's just enhance it. Let's enhance like all three. Um let's just fine tune the prompt to get this removed, right? Um See here, it doesn't use the search functionality, but on this one, it's using the search functionality. Okay, let's put that into the prompt. In each prompt, explicitly use search. And then when it's using search, like don't it's like search in each prompt explicitly tell the LLM to use search explicitly. Each report is still generating this at the start. Right? I don't want that. And then I definitely want to get rid of that. Enhance the prompt to get rid of it. I want the output of the LLM to have sections like this. So I like this, right? So let's hit Command C on this. Like this. See, we're kind of just enhancing the prompt. I don't know if this is efficient, right? Like I would say, etc. People have different thoughts about I want the perfect prompt. I want like some people like have what are prompt engineering techniques, right? Like you want I meant like providing clear instructions, content, or whatever, stuff like that. But basically, right now I'm doing zero shot. I want to try to stay zero shot. If I have to, I'll go to few shot. Like I'm already starting to like add in some like you notice like the first prompt that I had was very like one sentence. When I took when I like I'm starting to experiment more and more, like the prompts getting bigger and bigger, right? Which is basically like what I want to be avoiding, right? Because this is the initial prompt that I was using. Then it already became like it literally tripled in size. Once I add like this other stuff, it's gonna get even bigger, right? And now it's just gonna cost me more and more, right? Like 3 times 1,000 API calls. That's a lot, right? Use an exemplar in the prompts. Okay, let's take a look. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, okay. But like, look how much. Okay, this is a single prompt. How much tokens is this gonna cost me, right? Artificial analysis.ai. How much is it gonna cost me, right? Let's go to leaderboards. All models. Artificial analysis AI leaderboard. Let's go here. Like it's getting costly, everybody. Like especially imagine you're using the OpenAI API o1 model. You definitely need to be optimizing for input tokens and output tokens. So there's two ways, like input price and output price. You think like O3 mini, you're spending a lot for the output, right? Because it's doing like the chain of thought in the background. Like O1, it's thinking a lot. So like your input token's $15 per token, and the output is basically $60 a token, dude. What that's saying is basically like when you input 200K, you only get like 50K out, seemingly. I think. I don't know if that's how it works. But that's kind of how I read that. Okay. Did we get the prompts yet? Let's get the prompts. This prompt's huge. This prompt's getting big. Okay, let's run it. And this is already starting to blow up. Okay. First one to second one, 3x. This one, 3x to 3x. Golly. Okay, let's put this up here. Put this into the environment. Oh, come on. It's huge. TWSS if you guys watch The Office. Prompts. Looks like it's in there. Okay, the inference time of this is going to be huge. Okay, shift enter. This should be running. Oh man, the inference time of this is gonna take even longer now, cause like, firstly I added more tokens, and then I asked it for like I added way more tokens, right, to the input. All right. What are some good prompt engineering? What are some good prompt engineering best practices, like such as having an exemplar, giving a persona, etc. Give me a bullet list. Define each to instruct an LLM to build me to enhance my prompts. Just gonna feed that into the okay, I'm prompting providing explicit constraints. Yeah, like you can even like tell the LLM think a little bit before, right? But now we're getting into like reasoning territory. Like, um, this isn't really. I don't know. I don't know if this is the model for that. I think it actually like 2.0, like Gemini 2.0. I think actually could do that though. Like it, like I'd have to read into it. Let's go into this. Okay. Um, okay, this is number 3. So this is prompt number 3. Let's take a look again. Right? We're looking at prompt number 3 first. Uh, and then prompt number 2, like, and then prompt number 1 last. So it's got this. It's got this. Did it even run? No, it's still having the. Like, when was this? 627? Like, it's still coming out with this, man. Is it? That's so annoying. Let me try that again. Definitely made the new markdown. Yeah, like look, it's still doing it, right? Maybe Gemini 1.5 Flash is stupid or something. Like, dude, it's not using the format. Where does it say use search? Is it not using search? Oh, you know what I did? Did I not? Did I not save the prompts? Let's run up to here. Is this a problem with using interactive Python? Okay, saving the prompts. Let's see what it's reading, right? Dude. Okay, it's definitely putting the variables in. It's got, yeah. Okay, maybe because these prompts don't look right. It doesn't even have search in it, right? Like my prompt said search. Yeah, use search. This one says use search. Like, it's actually kind of hard to get LLMs to act the way you want it, right? And it's getting kind of expensive for me. Okay, looks like it worked. I should just send to the MD file. I should just run everything. I should just run this entire stack. Is it not working? What's going on here? Like, that preview was not right. Does this one have the use search? Like, this is still 627. What the heck is going on here? Should we just do this? Because this is definitely it. This one definitely has the new one. Open preview. What? Why is it doing that? Why is it when I'm doing the open preview, it's tweaking? Is this a bug with the review MD? God. Right? Am I going crazy here? Open preview. Broski. Okay. Let me try that again. So hard to read just plain markdown. Open to the side. Then open preview. What the heck? That's so annoying. Okay, we're gonna have to read it like plain markdown. Sorry, everybody. Is my extension off? What's going on there? Maybe I need better extension? Oh, okay. Let's just look at this and go to sleep. Okay, now it use search. And then this is how it looks. Format the response as follows, dynamically inserting the date. Look at the output. Oh my. Okay, hold on. Let me exit out of VS Code and maybe run it back. Let me quit out of VS Code and then open it again. Then maybe it'll do the open preview nicely. Bro, why is it like that? Like what the heck? Let me look at my extension. Better comments, Excel viewer, Jupyter notebook renders, material path IntelliSense. Like, where's my markdown? What's a good markdown preview? Let's run this one. Go. Okay. Better run. Oh man. Where's the reveal in like okay. Sorry everybody if you're watching this in the dark. Okay, this is what the heck is going on with VS Code, man. Do I go to NeoVim? I might go to NeoVim. Prompt today. Okay, at the bare minimum, I want that removal of the start. Output. Good. We got rid of that initial garbage at the start, and now we've got like a nice little thingy here. This sucks though. Why is it doing that? Maybe the markdown file is like not even structured right now. Right? But yeah, look. Today, last week, last month, last quarter, last year. Prompt. Use search. So did it use search? It definitely used search. Last quarter. Yeah, definitely use search, right? So that's the prompt. Effect on hedge funds last year. Output. Okay, definitely it fine-tuned that initial part out already, right? So we got somewhere today in 1 hour 40. Like we defined a problem, we came up with a solution. We're working through the solution. We got rid of like some of the crap that we don't want, right? It's just what the heck is going on with what do you call it? With VS Code. What's going on with my Markdown viewer? What is this? On an annualized basis, Apple dishes out 1 per share. Why is that? Oh, this Markdown previewer sucks. Somebody's recommend me a Markdown viewer before I start like I do part 2 of this. But like you could already tell that it's improving, right? I don't know which one I want. I'm kind of too sleepy for this now. Is this number 3? This one's categorize each update by sentiment and assess its direct impact on the 3 financial statements. I like that. But yeah, look at the output now. It's like pretty consistent, right? Like it's got the header. It just goes straight into it. Today, Apple pulls advanced encryption in UK. Like, why is it adding? Like, is it? Let's look at the database to see what's going on in the database to like have these. But yeah, overall, I feel like this is like we definitely got somewhere with the prompt engineering, right? Report sections as JSON. Get all rows. Let's update this. Limit 30. Shift enter on that. Connecting to kernel. Like, why was my kernel disconnected? What the heck? Seriously? Oh, it's because I turned off my VS Code. Oops. Forgot about that. And it didn't even work. Now I have to put all my variables back in. It's annoying. Is this gonna run? Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at what's going on here for Apple. Use search. It's funny how sometimes it uses a single quote and then a double quote. Yeah, I wonder why it's tweaking. Format the response as follows. But yeah, you kind of saw me do some prompt engineering. Definitely, it improved, right? We're getting better stuff. We kind of got a sense of like what we're looking for. I think I'm gonna try to fine tune it around the financial statements. That's kind of like the idea that I got out of this video. Now we've got a pretty decent exemplar, right? For the individual sections. It's just how do I reduce that amount? Like now I'm using way more tokens than I was initially doing, right? Yeah, it's just getting a little big. But yeah, that's prompt engineering part 1. I'm gonna do prompt engineering until I'm kind of satisfied with the news section. And then I'm going to do the same prompt engineering again, but for the next section that I want to do is evaluation section. So I've built a script to scrape what do you call it? Financials. What the heck is it? Right? And I've got like financials, annual, quarterly. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have the LLM try to come up with growth rates for like revenue, growth rates for operating revenue, growth rates for cost of revenue. Try to extract that from online and see if I could find it. But yeah, so I've got the income statement on an annual and quarterly basis. I've got the balance sheet on an annual and quarterly basis. Dude, all my plugins suck. But yeah, I have like the 3 financial statements. So that's probably the next one that I'm doing. That one I can't. I don't think I could do like a just a one shot, right? Like now I'm moving from 0 shot without giving any examples. Now I'm going a few shot, right? Giving the model a few relevant examples before asking it to complete a task. I'm just giving it one. I'm basically just doing one shot with the exemplar, or 0 shot with the exemplar basically. But yeah, so look at what I'm doing, right? I'm doing iterative prompting, building upon previous responses from the model to refine and expand on the initial answer, allowing for more detailed exploration. I don't know what that is. Prompt injection, inserting specific instructions or viewpoints into the prompt to influence the model's output. Maybe I just feed this into the large language model, right? Let's go up here. But yeah, like I'll probably take these and be like, hey, use these prompt engineering techniques, eh? But not put chain of thought in there and all of that. But yeah, on the next video, I'm definitely gonna I definitely made some strides today in the last hour. Let's see what I get up to tomorrow. But go into the chat and tell me a better markdown extension, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to NeoVim. Until next time. Oh, please like and subscribe. Until next time. Bye.